What is up, Nerf Nation? I'm Naptown Nerf, and this is an unboxing and review of the Nerf Elite Trilogy. Alright, you guys, so I've been eagerly awaiting the Trilogy. It was supposed to be released like a month ago, and finally Walmart has brought it to my doorstep. A little bit worse for the wear, but not too bad. These were kind of scattered about in the box, and I kind of threw them back in there for appearances purposes. But yeah, no big deal. They didn't seem damaged. They just were floating around. The glue, I guess, on the box wasn't the greatest. But nevertheless, this thing is going to be super cool. It's something new that Nerf has never done before, a shell ejecting shotgun blaster, and I think that's just super awesome, and I cannot wait to crack this thing open. But before we do, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. So let's go ahead and check out this box and see what we're working with. So like I said, this is a shotgun blaster. We have a pump action down there. The shells will eject out the side, which is pretty cool. We have 5 shells right here, which are pretty cool. And then it comes with 15 elite darts. Check out the back here. You can see the whole blaster. See how the shells come out. That's pretty cool. See how you load the shells. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let's crack this baby open. Alright, you guys, so along with your Trilogy DS-15, you get obviously your 5 shells with your 15 darts. I've already loaded those up. Pretty sweet. And then you get some instructions. So nothing too exciting, but everything you need to function the blaster. Alright, you guys, so I'm super excited to see how this thing is going to work. So we're going to go ahead and fire the blaster off a few times here, and then we'll go over all the features. So we'll prime the blaster back. We'll take one of our shells. We'll load it in. Prime it forward, and we'll see what happens here. Oh yeah! That is awesome! Yes! Well, so far it has worked flawlessly, and that is just super, super cool. So that was awesome. This thing is really cool and really fun, and I'm really excited for the Trilogy. I really love it when Nerf goes out and does new things and gives us really cool ideas that actually work like this. So that's really, really fun. I cannot wait to get it outside and fire it off a little bit more, but let's go ahead and go over the features real fast. We do have a sling point on top here. We do have a small tactical rail on the front of the blaster there, so I guess you could put an optic of some sort, but not sure this blaster really needs an optic considering it's a shotgun, so it's kind of like, you know, spray and pray pretty much. Pretty cool there. I guess you could use the bottom part here for a sling, but I'm not sure if that's what it's intended for. The grip is a little small actually for, you know, what I usually expect out of Nerf, but it's not too uncomfortable. There is a stock here, sort of, that obviously holds your 5 shells. This actually works really well. I'm pretty impressed with how that's holding in. It does work with the shells either direction. See, so, but it does seem to feel like it locks in a little bit better this direction for whatever reason. You know, let's see if they come out. So if you really jiggle it, they do kind of start to work their way out, but they didn't fall out, and it's not like you're going to be having your blaster upside down running around like that, hopefully. I mean, I guess you could be, but you get what you asked for if you do that. Nevertheless, we do have this isn't really a jam door, this just is a loading door, I guess. So that only really opens when you prime the blaster back, and that's what opens it. If the blaster does not allow you to prime back, you want to push this button right here as you pull this back, and that should allow you to get in there if you have some sort of jam or malfunction. Then obviously, then we can load in our shell, prime the blaster forward, and then we're ready to fire. So That's pretty darn cool. The pump grip down here is small but comfortable, no issues with that. Everything seems to be pretty smooth so far. There is obviously another sling point right here, which I'm sure you guys were yelling at me about, but I just now realized there's another one right here, so that's pretty cool. I think this one's probably the most useful, but nevertheless, pretty darn sweet. Let's go ahead and fire it off one more time. See that shell ejection? That's so cool. That is just really, really cool. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and take it outside, put it over the chronograph. If we can get some chronograph data, hopefully, maybe I'll have to put one dart at a time over to get accurate chronograph data, but then we'll put it on the range and see how she's performing. All right, you guys, so we'll go ahead and put some shots over the chronograph with the Trilogy DS-15. I'm really liking how they've just made cool plastic designs. I really do like the tiger striping. I think that's awesome. And, you know, if you're not going to paint both sides, which they still aren't painting the Nerf on both sides, this is a good way to go, I guess. So we'll go ahead and load up a shell and see how she's doing. Now, I'm not sure if 3 shots are going to work, but we're going to try it here. .79. I'm not sure how accurate that is, so I'm going to go ahead and just load 1 dart into here and see how that does. All right, so I just have 1 dart loaded in there, and yes, I know the shell did not eject that time, and I was like, oh, it didn't eject, but I think that's because I primed it with such an angle backwards that it couldn't force it out. So that probably is going to be a reason why it won't eject if you're having that issue. It's obviously probably going to eject more likely if you're holding it parallel to the ground, but we'll go ahead and see what 1 dart does. Much better range, just so you know, so that's interesting, and 74. So we'll do a few shots, just 1 shot, and see what kind of ranges we're getting there. It didn't eject again. Huh. I don't know, maybe I think I'm not priming it hard enough also. If you prime it hard, it should eject. If you don't prime it hard, maybe it won't. Ejected every time inside, not here. Oh, there we go. Let's see if it ejects that time. See, there it ejects. So you just have to really prime it back hard, I guess, and keep it here. If you tilt it this way too much, it's not gonna eject really. So 72 on that one. We'll go ahead and load another one up. Seems to be pretty good performance. And 77. So I'm gonna go ahead and check out the ranges of those 3 darts to give you an idea what 1 dart does, and then we'll go with the 3 darts for the real range test, because that's gonna be more relevant to most people. So the first one's at 39 feet. We have another one here at just short of 47, and then the furthest one came all the way up to about just about 58.5 feet. So that's pretty darn good performance out of a single shot. The triple shot will not get quite that kind of range, but we will test that now. All right, so I went ahead and loaded one up with some AccuFakes. So we'll do 4 shots with the Nerf Elite darts it comes with, and then we'll try some AccuFakes just to see what kind of spread they get with different darts, and, you know, range-wise what they'll get with different types of darts. So here we go. Start out with the Elites. Spread was reasonable, not amazing, but not terrible. You really have to prime it hard, is what I've realized, to get it to eject. Didn't quite get it that time. The wind is also picking up. All right, we'll try some AccuFakes now, and one thing I want to note is you really do want to make sure these darts are seated all the way in. If they're not seated all the way in, they could have a issue jamming and whatnot, and they probably won't fire quite as far. So we'll go ahead and try some AccuFakes. These probably won't go quite as far, but will be more accurate, and they're definitely a lot cheaper than your Nerf darts. Pretty good. Actually, they went just as far. Right there. and eject. Pretty sweet. All right, let's check out the ranges. They all seem to be all pretty close together, actually. You know, shortest one being about just past 22 feet, and the furthest we got actually was an AccuFake at 31 feet, but you know, that's a pretty good grouping there. The spread was not terrible, not great, but you know, pretty good spread, and pretty sweet blaster. Let's go back inside and I'll give you my final thought. All right, you guys, so I think the Trilogy is a pretty darn sweet blaster. I mean, I think all in all, I really have very little negative to say about it. The grip may be a tad bit small for me, and that's really the only gripe I have. The blaster did fail to eject the shells at times, but I think if you practiced with this, I think you could get the hang of how to eject the shells and how not to eject the shells. If you prime aggressively, it seemed to eject the shell pretty much every time, given that your blaster is somewhat level. If you tilt it up like this, it probably won't eject. If you don't prime hard enough, it probably won't eject, but honestly, you may not want it to eject every time, so think about that. That could be a positive, so I'm actually super surprised how well it does work, so I think Nerf did a great job with this. I'm very happy that I picked one of these up, and I will put links to where you can pick one of these up in the description box below. I did grab this from Walmart, but hopefully Amazon will be selling these too, so I should be able to put both links in the description box if available. And if you use the Amazon link, it is an affiliate link, so that does help out the channel, so that would be greatly appreciated. But definitely go for whatever's most convenient for you and whatever's cheapest, obviously. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you didn't before, smash that like button, ring the bell for notifications, and as always, peace out.